What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Showtime is the Blaze of King with King's Critiques. We're back for Spy Family. And despite on things looking on the up and up for Lloyd and Anya's next attempt in trying to get things to look up, unfortunately ran into a little bit of a hitch. That hitch being, a bus jacking, which is one of the most terrifying things in general, let alone for children between the ages of 6 and 8. And probably a little bit older too, since 2 buses got. So, what's going to happen? Well, obviously, some people have to attend to the happenings. And I imagine we're probably going to learn how or what's happening through one manner or the other. But you can leave your opinions down below, of course, proceeding into the episode, or save it for the end of the episode, because obviously this is going to take at least a couple of episodes to let what's happening have an ending. But that being said, you know what it is. Hit the like button, subscribe, let the thing run through, limit the watch time, and let's get into it, shall we? And the worst part is, Anya's not even, in the state she is because of the gunman throwing her off. It's because now she has all of these thoughts from all of her classmates, as well as anyone else in the surrounding area, flooding into her head, which is not good for her. You're just making yourself a target there, big guy. The worst part is, the only one that probably doesn't actually have somebody who's willing to help, parental-wise, is Damien. Maybe the kid next to him, because he looks even more evil than Damien does. Actually, he looks like he could be Damien's long-lost brother, honestly. Look at Donovan, Desmond, and then look at the kid next to Damien. Tell me there's not some sort of, very evil expression similarity there. Well, apparently, she was going to relegate the issue happening to the police until she realized, oh, 2 parties for Operation Strix are on board. Okay, got it. Listen, Acornhead, that's the literal worst thing you could do in this kind of situation. Because if you try, you will be the first one down. This carries for any age of people. If you're in this kind of situation, do not scream for help. Because as smart as it might seem, unless you're I don't know, in the South and everybody is armed to the teeth with their own weapons, not a good idea. No, you dumb little bitch. See, here's the thing about these kind of situations. 90% of the time, if they tell you that they're not going to kill you, they're not going to kill you if you shut up. Because it's the difference between, a robbery and some political bullshit. Unless, they're actually just looking to hurt people for the political gain, which, again, difference between other areas and whatever the fuck's going on now. Because, people, traditionally, don't want to hurt kids intentionally. So, unless again, like I said in the last episode, unless it's a certain situation going on, you're probably fine if you just sit down and shut the fuck up. Because, while they're not minding getting arrested for doing this kind of shit if they get caught, not a lot of people want it on their conscience that they killed a kid who, honestly, at least 60% of you are probably innocent. And I'm being courteous with 60%, because, a lot of rich kids probably are just going to be, nepotized into some sort of bullshit. But so she's reading their minds, and at least one of the bad guys is maybe we should just kill all these kids. So apparently that invalidates my thought process about at least one of the criminals. So what the fuck is her plan here? Because obviously the show knows that at least one of them do want to fuck them up in a not very good way. But, yeah, I just realized what I said, and I don't even know what I meant by that. Then again, I guess, the concept that it might mean would be like on a sugar high. Sure, we'll go with that, just because I don't know what the fuck I meant by that in the first place, and that sounds like for the situation the most rational way I can put that. Don't fucking question me. Regardless, what the fuck is on Anya's mind? There are people with guns. What the fuck does she expect? Like most gunmen or people trying to do some crazy ass shit, domestic T words, political T words, wherever the hell you want to go with. Can I say the T word? I'm at least 20 minutes into the episode. Fuck, I'm gonna call them terrorists. That's basically what they are. I don't think most of them would give a fuck if she pissed herself. But she managed to narrow down what the driver was thinking, so that helped a little bit. It distracted the other two so she could focus. Bitch, you can barely read. How did you read lit? Never mind. Fucking Becky's an idiot too. That is just a bunch of scribbles. I like how Anya's just so honest. It's like, yeah, this isn't secret code. My handwriting just sucks. You write it. And now Damien's just trying to investigate what the hell's going on. And that's just Anya's scribbles. How are the people not going to notice them passing a note back and forth as if they were in class? So, like, write your note and toss it fast, Becky, because Damien's going to try and pull some shit. Will he regret it? Possibly, but good for him for at least helping out. Beyblade, let it... Sorry, the kid's fucking head reminds me kind of like a top. Okay, I guess the one already did say she doesn't want to deal with a kid wetting themselves, so that's actually even worse. Because high-key, low-key, which is worse, the smell of piss or shit? And listen, from the perspective of someone who's dealt with animals that have left both smells, I'd rather deal with the piss just a little bit more. The twin was eaten filled with idiots. Yeah, that's a very valid thought process, but he's not as stupid as he seems sometimes. Well, that popped open, but an old lady noticed, so that's probably a good thing, right? Okay, so a bunch of old people did find it, which is a good thing, question mark? And good, it is Becky's note, so it actually can be read properly. Oh, now she has a bomb strapped to her. Well, that's not good. Well, Anya did not expect to get herself into that situation. Like, she was willing to, be tied up or taped or something. This was probably not in her plan. And unfortunately, now Anya's even more trouble than they were in the first place had they just done the smart thing and shut up. Yeah, terrorism is not a good thing in any way, shape, or form, despite, certain thought processes from some people. Never a good thing, especially when you're planning on, taking out on more than people that might actually deserve it in your mindset. Because, while, the children are impressionable in the future for better or worse, don't fuck up single-digit children. They do not deserve to die for your own hate. Like, if the children are grown and smart enough to know what's right and wrong, I'm not going to say it's okay to do anything to them either, but at least that would be more understandable than harming, youngsters who barely have a handful of brain cells. Because stupidity is stupidity, and children have more of an excuse to be stupid and try shit. I think just one time of doing some shit might be excessive. No, he's gonna fuck it all up because, well, it's just unfortunately just how the shit goes sometimes. So hopefully they find a more passive way out of things. Hopefully, a certain mother gets wind of what's going on and gets into action herself. Or maybe being hired for the job from some source will come down to her and she'll realize she has to save her own child. Suppose we'll see in the next one, because I think we're coming to a close on this one soon. Oh shit, we're barely even halfway through the episode. Never mind. Oh, heh. And, Yuri's there, and I think might be aware that it's his niece who's in danger. Yeah, he was really trying to think and consider that his sister would be happy if Anya died, and then he's like, oh, no, fuck, she actually loves that kid. Okay, I'm gonna have to go against orders and help in this somehow. Meanwhile, he's basically being like the dude from the military and be like, I don't care what you have to do, save my daughter. If everyone else has to die, fuck them. And bitch behind him's just like, excuse you. Ha! Again, W for her being able to read minds, otherwise she'd be more terrified. But now she needs to act terrified, because otherwise they'll probably just, But honestly, again, that doubles down on what I said before of, a lot of the times, even for in the case of, people like this, they don't want to hurt the children if they don't have to. Like, I'm not gonna say they're good people, mind you, but at least, like, they got more going on in here than people would give them credit for sometimes. Meanwhile, everyone else is terrified, and she's just, like, relaxed about the situation, so she's not even gonna bother to be scared about it. Meanwhile, Becky, Damien are on either side of her, like, Anya? Well, why are you so relaxed? Well, actually, now that you mention it, yes, but, yeah, actually, that brings into question, though. Were the events of Code White canon? Because she would technically know what much more her mother is capable of, outside just being able to read her mind. Because I'm pretty sure she did witness her fighting that fucking cyborg. That was a really cool fight scene, by the way. Why would you do that right in front of them? That's insane. Hitting the thing that when she tries to remove it will go boom, just so casually, while looking at him with that stupid grin. Even if you know it's a fake. They don't? Damn. Fucking balls of steel. Yeah, did she just realize what she's doing? It's like, oh shit, right, I need to act like it's real. And now everyone's thinking that she's being an asshole. Which, that's kind of her fault, because she is an asshole. And now she's back to everyone's thoughts going right into her head and giving her a headache. That's your own fault, you dumb shit. Again, 6 years old, and those two brain cells very rarely work together. Don't try to say some tough shit again. Might get shot this time, and that's not fake. While it's probably not going to work, I do agree with the premise of his ploy here. Use his status as, like, the child of a big political figure to put the bomb on him and, be used as a bigger sacrifice. It's not a bad idea. That way Anya can also stop being an idiot with it and making it out to be less than it is, which it is, but still. So instead of putting the same one on Anya on him, he's gonna put another one on him. But that one's also probably a fake. Not like he knows that, but, well, you tried. Hopefully that one's also a fake. Oh, we match, you little... Well, at least Anya has a better head on her shoulders. Hopefully she's not gonna be stupid and tell him it's not real. But, like, hopefully she's just gonna be, like, a calming presence to ground him as his friend. Let him relax. Because, while he was trying to act all rough, tough, and be a man about things, he did not consider the fact that one would get strapped on him as well. instead. Or, yeah, instead of instead. But, okay, she's just gonna outright tell him. But at least she was smart enough to lean in and tell him quietly. Stop hitting it! Even if it is not real, you were, like, so not helping. Well, apparently, one of the sources that were after them got to them. Now, it's a matter of question as to what's about to happen with the kids. Are they just gonna, like, shoot up the bus and leave no survivors? Because, honestly, I'd see that more of an actual military force kind of thing rather than a private military, considering, again, Black Belt are the ones trying to save the kids. Well, they got in position pretty quick, that's good. However, you forget there's still a man with a shotgun aboard with, at least a dozen children. Y'all are getting way too excited. The people have not been apprehended yet. At least 4 of you could die before the cops could even get on that bus. See, now he's showing off Damien with the bomb on him, but all Damien would need to do if he believes in Anya telling the truth is yell out, "It's a fake." Now, it's a matter of, are the cops willing to believe him if he says that? Is he willing to believe what Anya said? Both these things are very good questions. Unfortunately, we still do have one more episode of this story, so it probably isn't that easy, but... Okay, honestly, while releasing people from a terrorist group is never a good thing, his demands are at least reasonable. You know, it's the same as any kind of hostage situation. I want my men released, and I want us all to be able to escape the country. Which, until the point when they come back with even more ammunition, is a bad idea. But at least for the sake of saving the children, isn't that bad of an idea. Especially when you can just, like, bug their transportation to the new country and, you know? Are you sure you're not a grown-up? Because honestly, again, for 7 years old, I mentioned this a couple times already, it's not a huge surprise. But, like... Are you sure you're not, like, a dwarf in disguise? I mostly jest, but, like... Yuri has been physically tied to a pole so he couldn't help with the situation. That's crazy. Well, Yuri won't be able to help out his own niece. At least he's on the case to help the other kids out. So that's beneficial, right? But as far as the case for Anya's bus, yeah, that's even more questionable, because, like, on the one end, you know, the cops and national security are there, though the national security don't really care too much for children's lives. The cops are trying their best. The Black Belt guys are probably gonna show up too, and then they'll have 3 ends going after them. So, how awkward will that get? I suppose we shall see. But, obviously all's well that'll end well, and I suppose at most, maybe one of the kids will get pistol whipped or something. But we don't know that for sure. You know, they haven't, done anything so intense through the actual story. Through the series, you know, obviously in the movie, a couple of bad guys wanted to do some shit to Anya that wasn't too kosher because she ate something that she wasn't supposed to. Kids be kids. But for this, I'm sure it'll be fine, right? You know, maybe Damien's friends will help and Acorn Head will just bomb. And then the bad guys will get taken out during that whole scuffle. But we'll see. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section about that possibility or anything else to do with the episode, show, series, etc. Other things I should check out this season, next in our general. And of course, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the other channels in the description, ring bells, like, Facebook, follow, Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, Patreon, and Twitch. I know I haven't uploaded the social media in a hot minute, and I really do need to get better about that because I obviously can't not spread around the fact when I upload stuff and hope to grow organically. Then again, that seems to be working maybe a little bit better than actually sharing stuff, so who knows. That all being said, again, thank you to the patrons who have subscribed over there to help me out so far. Appreciate y'all in the description down below, and one of these times, maybe I'll have an end card up. But that being said, it's been the Blaze King with King's Critiques. Right, I forgot the whole bit of I upload all the stuff in full versions that I upload here, and there will be exclusive stuff coming up eventually for Patreon. Now, peace.